What's up, guys? You know who it is. It's your boy Dekkster here, and I'm going to be doing a top decks of the month for February. This is all pre-patch, you know, the patch where patches gets patched. So once that hits, I don't know how useful this is going to be, but it's still going to be interesting, I'm sure. All this information is taken from Vicious Syndicate. I'm not affiliated with them, not sponsored by them. I don't even know if they know I do these videos, but I'm going to link them in the description below. Be sure to check them out. And yeah, I appreciate their stuff. If you guys want, you know, support them with Vicious Syndicate Gold and all that stuff or whatever. Anyways, let's jump into the class archetype distribution here. If we look at all ranks, we can see it seems like there's kind of a landslide here, which is Priest is number one. Then we got Warlocks and Tempo Rogue. And then we got some Druids, but mostly just Rizakis, Control Lock, Tempo Rogue, some Zoo, and that kind of takes the cake there. If we go ranks 5 to 1, it's kind of a similar deal here. Priest, Warlock, and Tempo Rogue dominating that top 3. And then if we go to Legend, it's even more so dominated by Rizakis Priests. My understanding in top Legend, it was just a bunch of Rizakis mirrors, and it was not too fun. I can only imagine, but yeah, that's unfortunate. If we look at class frequency, we got the day frequency here if you want to pause on that, but I prefer to look at week because day is, you know, I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, Warlock seeing a huge uptick in play, Priest staying pretty constant. And Warlock is getting good. They're also not going to get hit by Banhammer, so I'm thinking they might take the top seat here, boys. We got Rogue staying about the same. They're going to get hit hard by the nerf. We got the Druid coming up a little bit in play. I do know that Jade Druid kind of struggles against Warlock, so once the patch hits, if Warlock goes up, I feel like Jade Druid's going to go down a little bit in terms of play. Also, Aggro's getting hit by the Corridor, Creeper, and Patches nerf, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Mage going down, but I feel like Mage is going to do well after this patch hits. And Paladin probably going to go up. Also, I imagine Hunter, I'm hoping Hunter, Warrior, and Shaman start seeing some love, because right now they're just down in the dumps. Let's hope this patch changes everything, but we can dream, boys. We can always dream. We got the match up win rates here. If you want to take a look at that chart, I think it's somewhat self-explanatory. You see green is good, red is bad, black is just ignore that part. Just look at how much green it is. If it's got a bunch of green blocks, it's probably a good deck. Let's look at the power rankings here. Power rankings kind of just show which deck is, you know, tier 1, tier 2, that sort of thing. Usually, if you're going to be pushing hard for Legend and you want to do a try-hard deck, usually try and stick with the tier 1, tier 2 deck. You could probably do it with tier 3 also. I did it with the tier 3. Tons of people do it with tier 3 decks. So it's just probably going to be a longer grind. So if you're going super try-hard, stick to tier 1 or 2, I think. If you're looking for fun, you can go dabble in that 3, 4, or the unknown tier 5 plus. Anyways, if we look at all ranks, we see tier 1 is Murloc Paladin, Zoo Warlock, Aggro Paladin, and Tempo Rogue. If we go ranks 5 to rank 1, we can see Zoo Warlock, Murloc Paladin, Aggro Paladin, and Tempo Rogue. And then we go to Legend, and we see Zoo Warlock, Murloc Paladin, and Rizakis Priest. Will that change when the patch hits? Absolutely. It's going to be insane. So, I don't know, just take that into consideration. I wouldn't craft the other legendaries necessary for Rizakis Priest, because, like, if you craft Velen right now, he just might never see the light of day anymore. So, take that into consideration. Let's look at the Metascore here. I'm just going to look at Legend. The higher up to that pink dot, the better the deck is. And we can see Rizakis Priest is super close. Once again, that's all going to change very, very fast. I'm going to jump into at least one deck from each class. It's probably just going to be one deck from each class. I'm worried I'm going to make this video and then 2 days later, the patch is going to hit. And that's just going to be very, very unfortunate, because these do take time. If you enjoyed the video, please hit me with a thumbs up, hit the sub button, share, and yeah, because these They take time. All right, let's get into it. So honestly, not a lot has changed here for most of these lists. So I'm gonna kind of maybe choose ones that I think will still be pretty solid once the nerf hits. So for Priest, I'm gonna skip Highlander. Highlander's obviously number one. I think Spiteful is gonna be hit pretty hard from the nerf because you don't get to Bone Mare on 7 on your thing that got Spiteful summoned. But it could still be a solid deck. But I'm going to be talking about Big Priest. I do think Big Priest is going to be a top tier deck, and it's still pretty solid right now as is. This is just a standard Big Priest list, and it just is difficult for a lot of things to deal with, most notably, cube lock or control lock. Because if they cube a Void Daddy or something, and then you Psychic Scream it, it's really, really unfortunate for them. So definitely recommend checking out this list. If you are looking for something to craft, this might be relatively safe. It'll do okay in the current meta, and it should do great in the upcoming meta after everything hits. Psychic Scream is just going to be a card that just haunts a lot of people. It's hard. It deals great with aggro. It deals great with control that are playing big minions. I guess what is it even weak against? I don't know, like recruit decks? If you shuffle something in the deck and then they just re-recruit it? I don't know, but this is definitely going to be one of the top decks once the patch hits. So check it out if you're looking for some Big Priest action. So I'm going to make a weird prediction for Warlock. Let me know what you guys think, but I think since Cube Lock is going to be the top deck, people are going to start playing around Cube Lock. Psychic Scream is going to just destroy the cube aspect. Rogue's going to be playing Miracle. They're going to be sapping it, and it's just going to ruin the cube part of it. So the way to counter that would be to play Control Lock, which would it'd suffer a lot less. So instead of highlighting a cube lock, which is probably your best bet right now, I'm going to be talking about Control Lock. So this is Hoej's Rin Control Lock, and as you can see, no cubes here. We just got Rin. We also don't have the weapon because we don't want to pull demons from our hand. If we get our Rin off, then we don't want that demon being pulled from our hand. So this has a lot of, longevity with Blood Reaver Gul'dan, bringing back all your Void Daddies and your other demons. And then your N'Zoth, bringing back your Void Daddies once again. It's good against aggro. It's good against control. And it's just going to be a solid deck. And yeah, I think it's going to be the top Warlock deck. And it's a solid deck right now. So if you're looking for one to craft right now before the nerf hits, this is probably also a decent choice. Now, don't quote me, but yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty good. So we all know Rogue is great. Tempo Rogue is insanely good right now. But once again, nerf gonna hit it really, really hard. Patches, Corridor Creeper, and Bone Mare are all cards that Rogue runs, so it's gonna take a solid hit. I do think an Elemental version will be good, but as for right now, a list that's kind of decent and might even get better once the patch hits is Quest Rogue, I think. Once again, going around the fact that Cube Lock or Control Lock are going to be kind of taking that top seat. This will do pretty decently against them. Maybe a different variation of this. Maybe we're running Saps in here also. Maybe we're running Vanish. Maybe it's more of a Mill Rogue than a Quest Rogue. But this right here is Fenom's Quest Rogue, or Rookie's Quest Rogue. I don't know why there's a slash there. Are they the same person? Are they different people? Who knows? But you know the drill. Quest Rogue is back if there's a slow meta, and it's just really hard to deal with this. Sonya adds a lot of value. So does Zola the Gorgon. And Vanish is just really, really great for those big minions. So I like this list. Quest Rogue's a lot of fun. I haven't personally crafted the Quest again, but I've been playing against a lot of Quest Rogues, and sometimes I really get, handled. And it's making me very, very tempted to craft the Quest. So definitely look into this. Keep your eye out. You might want to wait for the meta to settle once the patch hits, but think about it. Might be a thing. All right, so Druid is pretty solid right now. Aggro Druid's pretty good. Jade Druid is actually doing really well, but they suffer against Warlock. So if you're seeing a lot of Highlander, you might be okay with Jade Druid. But if you're seeing a lot of control and cube lock, you might not want to play it. And guess what? we're thinking Warlock's going to be the best after the patch hits, so maybe Jade Druid isn't going to be too good. So what I think is going to be fairly interesting is Spiteful Druid. This one is Zarathustra? Zarathustra's Spiteful Druid. Obviously, this list is going to have to be changed a little bit because it's running Patches, Corridor Creeper, and a Bone Mare, but I do like the whole concept of this with the Grand Archivist pulling out the ultimate infestations, the Spiteful Summoners also pulling out the ultimate infestations, and it's just a lot of great value. Yeah, sometimes you'll Grand Archivist an ultimate infestation into your own dudes or your own face, but still getting the 5/5 on the board and drawing the cards and not having to spend 10 mana is insane value. So definitely liking this list. I'm interested to see how it develops. I still feel like it's a somewhat early concept, and yeah, the patch is going to change this completely. So I think Big Spell Mage is going to continue to be a solid deck. I don't think it's going to be top tier. It's going to do pretty decently against Q-Block, I think. Control Lock should be solid, but it may suffer against stuff like Miracle Rogue if that does become a thing. So I think the top Mage deck is going to be Secret Mage. Secret Mage not really hit by anything. This one's Asmodai Secret Mage. Yeah, it's running Corridor Creeper, but it's not really a big deal. I think they're mostly running Corridor Creepers to deal with other Corridor Creepers. Instead, maybe they'll throw in a Pyroblast and another Secret or something like that. But the way this deck can cycle is just beautiful. You're able to burn your opponent down really fast, and it's just kind of hard for your opponent to deal with it if you nut just right, which may not happen often, but if you get Aluminith by 6, you're usually in a good spot. So yeah, definitely loving Secret Mage. I just love Explosive Runes as a card. It just seems so amazing. And I love the whole mind games sort of deal with it. You know what I'm talking about, where your opponent doesn't really know what the secret is. They got to play around it. It's just a lot of fun. So I'm excited about this one. So Paladin is probably going to stay a top deck. I know Aggro Paladin is definitely going to be taking a hit, but Murloc Paladin not getting hit too hard. Yeah, we got Corridor Creepers in there. Yeah, we got Patches, but we're probably just going to switch to something a little more Murloc heavy. Maybe we drop the South Sea Captains here for some Seers. Maybe we drop the Creepers for, oh, I don't know, Blessing of Kings, a Finja, something like that. I do think this is going to be the #1 aggro deck. Could be wrong, of course, but I definitely think is going to be a top contender. It's just really hard for your opponents to deal with. The flooding of the Murlocs, the Call to Arms bringing out more Murlocs, and the addition of Finja bringing out more Murlocs. It's just going to be solid deck. Call to Arms is so good. And then Tarim to seal the deal. I don't know. Like, this might be a good craft also right now because it's so strong in the current meta. So I really hope Hunter, you know, gets some new archetype that emerges somehow. Maybe like a secret Hunter or a big Hunter, but I think Face Hunter is probably still going to be the best Hunter deck. Unfortunately, we'll have to see. Here's the standard aggro Hunter, and yeah, I think the pirate package is going to have to change. No captains, no deckhand, no patches. Those are going to have to be cut. Just because patches doesn't have charge, that's enough to cut it. So maybe it's going to be a little more beast oriented. Also, Corridor Creeper. I'm interested to see if these are going to stay in a Hunter list. They are beasts, so they're buffable by Houndmaster and stuff like that. So maybe they stay around, or maybe they're just going to be banished and no one's ever going to see Corridor Creepers again. We'll have to wait and see, but I got high hopes for Face Hunter still. I don't think Pirate Warrior is going to stick around in this meta. I feel like Corridor Creeper was a big deal, and so was Patches. Maybe this might be like the only sort of deck that still keeps Patches around because it benefits so much by having pirates, like with Bloodsail Corsair, and you know, just being able to buff your weapons up. But I don't think the list is going to be seeing that much action. I do think a list that's kind of been impressing me lately is Fibonacci's Big Warrior. Definitely been enjoying this list. It is a ton of fun. I'm interested to see if it's going to change at all, but this one's not getting hit by the nerfs. So maybe this one actually starts seeing the light of day. Maybe tier 3. We'll have to see. But it's a lot of fun. And I definitely recommend you guys check this one out. It is super expensive, so I don't recommend crafting it. I mean, kind of just check it out if you do have the cards, but crafting like a tier 3, tier 4 deck with so many like class specific legendaries probably isn't the wisest use of your dust. You got Grommash, you got Garrosh, you got Woe Cleaver. Probably just not your best bet here. Plus you got to get Bring It On and Reckless Flurry. You got to get your brawls. Definitely not a free to play friendly deck, but I'm still hoping to see some action because Warrior is just not getting the light of day. The last class to talk about is Shaman, and I think it is getting hit a little bit by the patch, but not as hard as other classes, mostly because Corridor Creeper, you're going to want to evolve it regardless. You are going to be able to discount it with your totems, so maybe throwing it down on the same turn you throw down some gangsters or something like that. Then you hit the whole board with an evolve. It's going to be pretty solid still, unless it evolves into a Bone Mare. I guess that would suck, but yeah, Patches is usually used in this deck list, so maybe we're going to have to take Patches out of here along with the Bloodsail Corsairs. What's going to go in there instead? Who knows? Maybe some Dire Moles or something like that. But hoping Shaman somehow sticks around. Maybe it even gets better. But the standard token Shaman list hasn't been doing that great. But man, maybe we throw some hexes in here, some devolves, and we start doing decently against Warlock. We'll have to see. I don't know. But hopefully things take a turn for the best, I guess. So that's about it for this month, guys. Once again, information from Vicious Syndicate. Thanks to them. Be sure to check them out. Hit me with the like. Hit me with the sub. And let me know what you guys think is going to happen once the patch hits. What do you guys think is going to be the top deck? Is it going to be Elemental Tempo Rogue? Is it going to be a big Hunter? Who knows? It's going to be Jade Elemental Shaman. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Hit me with the like. Hit me with the sub. And stay hydrated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!